You know, lung cancer is the leading cancer killer in the U.S., and sometimes people don't have the screenings that they need to have available to them. Well, but there's new hope for lung cancer screenings because the lung cancer screening guidelines have doubled. And that opens up more opportunity for the number of Black Americans and women eligible for screening. The updated guidelines are also an important step forward in addressing racial disparities associated with lung cancer. Join us on the phone now to bring more awareness to this issue and discuss the new screening guidelines is Dr. Victor Waters, the National Volunteer Medical Spokesperson for the American Lung Association. Dr. Waters, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
What can you tell us about the new lung cancer screening guidelines?
Well, just like you said, lung cancer is the leading killer in the U.S. And the fact is, with the new guidelines, more than double the number of Black Americans and women can be eligible for screening. That's a big deal because the screening involves what we call low-dose CAT scanning procedure. Very safe and very effective in diagnosing potential lung cancer. So that's going to be a big impact in narrowing the gap in health disparities at this juncture.
What are you talk about it's more screenings for Black Americans and females. What are the systemic issues that are contributing to the health disparities that people are facing that have lung cancer?
Yeah, great question. Well, the community of color first may not be aware that there is even a screening process or CAT scan screening. And even though it's been out for many years, the community may not even be aware. So knowledge is first thing. The other is affordability. The fact is that it was out of pocket cost for many people for a long time, but starting April 1st, health insurance, Medicare is going to begin to cover. And the other is the community may not trust what the recommendations are saying. There is a long-standing issues with trusting the medical community with medical issues. And that is a big deal. And that's why I'm here on this call to really advocate the screening process and to find the opportunity to get the CAT scan and diagnose earlier and sooner so you can be treated and potentially cured and save a life.
Talking with Dr. Victor Waters. He's the National Volunteer Medical Spokesperson for the American Lung Association. This next question, the answer seems obvious with lung cancer being the leading cancer killer in the U.S., but I want to ask it anyway. How important is it to get the word out about the need for lung cancer screenings?
Yeah, it's critical. I'm vested personally. I lost my mother to lung cancer, and had she received this type of screening, it may have saved her life. The fact is, finding it accidentally because you have a little pain or symptoms oftentimes is too late, and that's what often happens with patients, in particular the community of color. Need to go to lung.org screening. Just Google that, and it will give you all those type of resources and information critical for awareness at this juncture.
Well, I know the American Lung Association has a new Q&A document that helps answer some of the questions about these new screening guidelines. Can you share any more with us about what that's all about?
Yeah, it's actually very simple, very simple. It involves knowing about your age. The criteria fits if you're between the ages of 50 and 80, and also whether you smoke. It's not at this point in juncture, the U.S. Preventive Service Task Force doesn't recommend non-smokers. That's to be determined. But smokers, if you smoke, say, 1 pack per day for 20 years or 2 packs per day for about 10 years, you qualify to get this screening test.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up this interview, what are some key takeaways you want, as a representative of the American Lung Association, you want the audience to learn from today's appearance with us? What are some of the key factors you want people to put in their memory bank to store and use after this phone call?
Thank you. I want people to realize that low-dose CAT scanning is safe and effective. And when people hear low dose, that doesn't mean they're getting an injection of any kind. They're not getting contrast or intravenous or oral contrast. It means they're getting simply a plain X-ray that does multiple series of views of the chest. Very simple, very effective, and very safe. That's the most important thing people need to understand, to get this procedure and get it now that you're aware.
The hardest part of a low the CT scan, the low CT scan, is holding your arms up above your head for an extended period of time. That's literally one of the hardest parts of it.
There you go.
I've had a lot of CT scans in the last year. That's literally the hardest parts, the hands above your head. So, doctor, where can people go? Give us a website people can go find out more, or they can take the screening guideline Q&A.
Yes, go ahead and look up on Google lung.org, LUNG.org, screening, and it will link you directly to the American Lung Association screening guidelines, criteria, and resources.
Dr. Waters, thanks for joining us today and sharing shedding some light on a very, very important subject.
My pleasure.
Lung cancer it's something that gets a lot of people. The Duke, John Wayne died of complications from lung cancer. Cost America, it's cowboy. So go get your screenings, especially if you're a smoker. It's really a no-brainer to go get your screenings. Good morning. You got about a minute. You're on Ocala Talks.
Hi, Tom. Real quick. I went up to the railroad crossing on 35th Street. That's the dangerous railroad crossing.
Supposed to be done today. Supposed to be finished.
They're not nowhere near being finished today. I tell you, it's going to be another couple of days. Because it's a pile of road laying there, and it's a big mess. And I don't see. I'm thinking 2-3 days away. Even then, I don't know. But anyways, it's still blocked off.
Well, thanks for that update, Hugh.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
He's talking about the railroad crossing on 35th in between 36th Avenue and Cahadjo. It's been closed since last Friday, and Hugh says it's supposed to open back up today at 6 o'clock, but Hugh doesn't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Give some birthdays real quick. Today, another year older, Eric Idle of Monty Python fame. He is 79 years old today. Brendan Gleeson, who was in Harry Potter, is 67 today. Christopher Lambert from Highlander is 65 today. Supermodel Elle Macpherson, 58 years young today. And Lucy Lawless, Xena Warrior Princess fame, she is 54 years old today. I want to thank all of our guests today and our callers and our listeners and, of course, our sponsors. Without all of you, this show would not be possible. We want to thank you for your contributions and thank you for listening to the show. We'll be back here tomorrow about the same time. So if you join us every day, you know where we'll be tomorrow. We'll be right back here on Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source. Talk to you tomorrow.
This is WOCA AM, W242 CAFM, Ocala, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
President Biden announced the largest tax hike in history as part of a $5.8 trillion budget request. The president made a renewed push on Monday for congressional Democrats to overhaul the nation's tax code and dramatically raise rates on corporations and ultra-wealthy Americans. The new budget will start in October. Ukraine President Zelensky, via translator, announces he wants a face-to-face meeting with Putin to sort out the war.
Security guarantees and neutrality, the nuclear-free status of our state. We are ready to go for it, he said. And he continued, this is the most important point for the Russian Federation, as far as I recall.
Teams from both countries are meeting in Turkey today with the hopes of reaching an agreement on peace. March Madness men's basketball is down to the Final Four. Villanova